We are not all innocent. My staff also drop balls at times. I've been a victim of that too. In such occasions, and in all occasions, we are sorry. We are very sorry. It's not something pleasant. We are very sorry for those times we disappointed you. But we will continue to improve. We will continue to serve you well. But one thing we promise you is that whenever we take off, by the special grace of God Almighty, you will land in one piece.
Let's embark on this unforgettable flight. Enjoy the journey.
Alright, eat this cake, you're gonna fly.
Let's spell peace, because I believe peace, that's all we have in the Gambia. That's the mineral resources we have. P E A C E.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of Air Peace, give it up for Onyema. C-O-M.
A visionary, a man whose dreams transcend generations, a philanthropist par excellence, a dogged Nigerian, a patriotic Nigerian who has service at the heart of all that he does, employing directly over 5,000 jobs for Nigerians.
Absolutely.
Hey, clear the road for who's louder. Step aside for the game changer. Under the Kumakia Potago. And run a babona Tandi. Hey, on a longa passe. On a Mekasi. On a longa passe. On a Bakasi. Iwe Rikepe. Omaya Manaria. Achalugo Dike. Hey! Listen, we are gonna sing the Emperor, the Conqueror, the Champion for our chairman in the building. Are you ready now? Are you ready now? One voice in the house. Are you ready now? We are going now. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. The Emperor, the Conqueror, the Champion, the Lion is here. I can't hear you louder. Let's go. Hey! Let's sing it louder. Everybody, let's go. The Emperor, the Conqueror, the Champion, the Lion is here. Hey! Soya dike. Ale Onyema budike.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the Transportation Minister, Alhaji Seidu Akali. Your Excellencies, the Governors of Edo State, the state of my birth. Your Excellency, the Governor of Abia State. Your Excellency, my own brother, my very good friend, a guy I've always admired, the Zamfara State Governor, Mr. Dauda Lawal. Please forgive me for not observing protocol very well. Your Excellency, the former President of Nigeria, the immediate past President of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, ably represented by no other person than the former Minister of Science and Technology and himself a former Senator, Mr. Olorunibe Mamora. Representatives of governors here present. We have the representative of Katsina State Governor, the representative of Sokoto State Governor, We have a representative for Kano State Governor, and we have that of my home state, Anambra, all present in this hall. The Chief of Air Staff, ably represented here. The Chief of Army Staff, ably represented, and the Chief of Naval Staff, also ably represented here. I want to also recognize the presence of members of the National Assembly, senators and members of House of Representatives here present. I equally recognize the presence of former governors in our midst. I will also not forget to mention our royal fathers. Kabiesio, I feel honored to be called your friend. It makes me proud. Talking about no other person than the Oni of Ife and the beautiful wife. Obi of Furniture is here present. Igwe Nnameka Achebe, the Abugidi himself. I salute you, sir. I will not forget to mention my own Igwe of my hometown boss in Anambra State. I'm talking about no other person than Igwe Dr. Gregory Nwokora, who, because of this occasion, flew in from the UK to grace the occasion. I will also not forget to mention the presence of the Igwe of my maternal side, Ezoha Iseke. Igwe Emmanuel Nabife is here present. You're welcome. I must also mention the presence of the DG of NCA, who himself was in the trenches with us before he decided to go to the other side. I'm sure the Nigerian passengers will be missing you because they always remember Jolly Papa. I also recognize the presence of the headship of the aviation agencies in Nigeria here present. Now, I'm sure some of you will be saying, you've forgotten to mention some people. It's deliberate. I'm coming there. I want to appreciate my brother, the governor of Kaduna State, who is ably represented by my friend Maureen. And thank you for all the things he said there. I'm looking forward to them. Together, we shall all build this country. I'm reserving some for the last. It is not easy to find another foreign nation sending in a high, power delegation led by no other person than the first lady of that country. I'm talking about the president of Gambia, who is today present here in the person of the wife, the first lady of Gambia, Fatimatu Barrow. Thank you, the beautiful one. Thank you. Yeah, we all know how we began. It will be very, very bad of me not to recognize certain elements of our success, and that brings me to Fidelity Bank. Like they say, their word is their bond. Fidelity Bank has inadvertently created a kind of perception that has changed the world of aviation in Nigeria by making banking industry now to start looking the way of the aviation industry. Thanks to Fidelity. But of course, we must also thank Air Peace, because if Air Peace had faltered, it would have rubbed off negatively on the industry. So I thank you, Fidelity, because what you've done with Air Peace, you've created over 50,000 indirect jobs. We're Fidelity people here, now they clap for themselves. So it has been a roller coaster with you. So we thank Fidelity. You must have noticed some changes in the aviation industry in the last 1 year. I want to use this opportunity to thank our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for creating a platform through the instrumentality of his appointments to engender ease of doing business in the aviation industry. You see, one thing is certain. In Nigeria, we like condemning ourselves. I've always said it that Nigeria is highly stigmatized, but we also stigmatize ourselves. I am not a coward. I say it the way it is. I'm never afraid of anything, you know. The appointment of Festus Keyamo SAN has caused a positive revolution in the aviation industry. Whether you like to hear it, it's up to you. You don't like to hear it, but the empirical data is there to prove that this man has given it his all. A lot of you may not know some of the things that have been causing the high mortality rate of airlines in Nigeria. You may not know. We have a minister that listens. A minister that came on board without any form of airs whatsoever on his shoulders. A minister who was never given the little opportunity to succeed or belief to succeed. He surprised all of us. But one thing he has done very well is that he listens. And the most important thing is that this minister has no agenda for self-centered decisions. He has no agenda for entrenched interests. And that is what is working for him. Because what is causing problem in governance in Nigeria is when people who are in government decide to be involved in one way or the other, reaping where they did not sow, or trying to use the instrumentality of their office to do certain things, then they will start faltering. This minister has no entrenched interest. He is as open as a book. This is someone that will take a decision or try to float to one side, and you call him and say, look, we've looked at this thing, is this, is that. I remember the helicopter issue. The helicopter brothers, those who operate helicopter operations, ran to us in AON and said, look, it didn't start with his regime, it started before. If you land in a football field, you pay $400 or $300. If you land anywhere, you pay a certain amount of money. So they cried to the umbrella body, the AON, and we brought it before the minister. That same day, he stopped it. Go and clap now. That same day, he stopped it. It wasn't as if he stopped it and nailed it. He wanted to listen. He wanted an open conversation to discuss the issues involved. For you to get anything right, you must have an open mind to issues. Don't have a closed mind. There were certain decisions he took recently. Myself and Chief Obiora Okonkwo confronted him. But when we confront, we do it with an open mind. When you have a closed mind, you only see things from your point of view. And when he finished explaining certain things, we knew that if we implemented the way he said the language or that document was written, or if it's going to be implemented or signed the way he was saying, it will end up helping the Nigerian airlines at the end of the day. Because that means somebody will pay the price for opening certain places for us, and when we are ready, the person will exit and will take over. Please clap for this minister. You see, it pains me when some people think he's supportive of certain airlines against the others. It's a lie. Every decision taken by Honorable Minister Festus Keyamo is in the best interest of the airline industry as a whole, and not Air Peace. When he signed the Cape Town Convention, when he brought the language to its knees, when he obeyed the Aviation Working Group and caused that language, which has, brought us down over the years, when he spearheaded it, he was not doing it for any particular airline, he was doing it for the entire industry. And I'm sure starting from next year, airlines in Nigeria will start accessing dry lease. Let me tell you something. All the airlines in this world, the legacy airlines like Delta, Emirates, and all of them, they boast of over 1,000 planes. They don't own these planes. Give it to Nigerian operators. We own these planes ourselves. These ones, they don't own nothing. All they do is that they go to Boeing. Mo has said it all. They go to Boeing. We need 50 aircraft. They give their specifications, just as I did with Boeing. They give their specification. A lessor comes in, takes over, pays for it, and leases it back to the airline. And the airline will pay peanuts at the end of the month. $200,000 at the end of the month for dry lease. The money Air Peace used in buying one Embraer E2-195 last year or so, the brand new planes, the money we spent on the acquisition of one, we ordered 13. That one can fetch Air Peace about 30 aircraft if they are available on dry lease. So you don't need to. You don't need to bring $400 million to go and buy planes. So give it to the Nigerian airlines. Even those airlines you think that are not good, or maybe they don't have capacity, maybe 2 aircraft. His 2 aircraft could fetch him about 40 planes on dry lease. That is what KMO has done for the industry recently. And that was why I told Mr. President during the iftar, when he was being criticized for certain things, I said no. He went to France for a particular purpose. Mr. President, by the time he finishes what took him there, I know about it. You will be glad you made this man a Minister of Aviation. And today, the rest is history. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're doing well. Where you're not doing well, we will tell you. Any day we give you advice, take it. Our advice must come with love and in love, and for love of country. I want to exit this place, but not without thanking everybody here. First of all, we are very grateful to Nigerians of all walks of life. We have 378 ethnic nationalities. Air Peace belongs to all of you. Air Peace does not belong to the Onyema family. Air Peace is owned by all Nigerians. That's where we feel, and that is what dictating some of the things, some of the actions we've done in the past. We believe that this airline belongs to all Nigerians. When you are interested in pulling Air Peace down, please stop thinking you're trying to pull Onyema down. Stop thinking you're trying to bring one fellow down. No, you're making a mistake. When you celebrate the downfall of, or maybe you're perceived, or you're maybe wishful thinking that when you do certain things, this airline will crumble, please forget me. I'm nobody. Look at the faces of thousands of Nigerians, thousands of members of mankind, that this airline has provided a platform for them to use as a means of livelihood to take care of their families. That should be your preoccupation. I must use this opportunity to say certain things, because it's so painful that Nigerians are always looking for ways of stigmatizing themselves, looking for ways of thinking they can bring anybody down. You cannot bring anybody down, not even Onyema, except God Almighty says so. You can't. Recently, our aircraft diverted to Manchester because of bad weather. That aircraft did not leave Nigeria on time because of bad weather. We were told not to come in yet, because if we had gone in at 11:59 our scheduled time, we'll be arriving in the UK at about 6 o'clock, at which time the weather was zero, the weather forecast. And in Air Peace, we have zero tolerance for anything that is unsafe. We can delay you from now till thy kingdom come. If we are not certain you will land, we will never succumb to intimidation, to blackmail, to shortchange safety. We will never. Because I have flight phobia. I have flight phobia myself. I have flight phobia. So everything must be top notch. On that day, Friday, 18th of October, England was almost shut down completely. And we are told what time to start coming in. It was more expensive for us. We had to feed passengers at the airport, waiting for weather to clear, for us to get an all clear from the UK. When they gave us an all clear at about 3 a.m., we left. 5 minutes to landing, weather nosedived to zero, fog. And the captain decided to do what was safe for everybody at that moment. He nosed up and diverted to Manchester, just like other airlines diverted on that same day. What we are talking about, several airlines couldn't enter the UK airports. Several airlines delayed or diverted, some even diverted to Dublin. But a Nigerian, because he wanted to sit in the business class, he decided to be intimidating my crew. After intimidating them, he did a video. Air Peace London flight was always delayed. They left Lagos late. But they couldn't land in Gatwick because they lost their slot. And bad news, negativity. He went viral. And people were calling for the head of Air Peace. And the UK authorities came up with the facts of the day to show that it was not Air Peace. Several airlines diverted out of Gatwick Airport and Heathrow. And the fellow went and sat in business class and did another video intimidating the cabin crew, being very unruly, and forced himself from economy to cabin crew, did a video and told the whole world, yes, I sat in business class. He didn't know he has committed a safety breach in aviation, which we are coming after him. It's not us, it's the aviation industry. They are coming. It's a matter of time. He has to answer to that, because there is always a limit to stupidity. There may be joy in madness, but there's also a limit to foolishness. Everybody is a journalist these days. For those times we disappointed you, we are very sorry. For those times we didn't meet your expectations, we are very sorry. But one thing is certain, is for your safety. It's for your safety. I missed my appointment the other day. I don't even fly my private jet. Meanwhile, I don't even remember the last time I flew it. I fly with everybody. So I missed my flight. Why? Because they brought it earlier than I anticipated. But it was for a reason. I sat down. But I have to say this. I'm not pointing accusing fingers on anyone, but I think our brothers from the north, nobody will shoot me for saying it. Somehow we have to emulate the way they carry themselves. If you're flying out of Kano and the weather goes bad, or your aircraft goes tech, and you announce that this aircraft has gone tech, we need to fix it or wait for another aircraft to come. The average northerner will say, that's how God wants it. And he'll sit down quietly. When you come down here, go and check the statistics of those that have broken Air Peace laptops at the airport for making an announcement. I've seen somebody watching pornographic movie and missed his flight, and they were calling him, come and go on board, as business class passenger, and he missed his flight. He talked to the staff, waved him out. I just beckoned to the staff, leave him. I was in the business class lounge that day. 2 hours later, he remembered that he was going to Abuja. And he said, this AP is safe, they don't start again. Then he moved to the counter. I told the woman sitting by my side, I said, I told you, you see what this man will do. I followed him. He got there. This is Abuja flight. How far now? When is he going? I've been here for 3 hours. Let me see your boarding pass. And when they saw it, your flight has even landed Abuja. It's on his way to Gombe. He slapped somebody's wife. He slapped somebody's wife, somebody's daughter, somebody's child, somebody's sister. I won't tell you what I did to him that day. I won't say it here, because next time he will never try it. So, but it happens every time. We think it's by lying we can make sense. You get late to the airport, you say you've been in the airport for 7 hours. Meanwhile, you got there late, then you start calling Onyema that I should tell them to stop the plane for you. It happens. And when you refuse, wahala. However, we are not all innocent. My staff also drop balls at times. Yes, of course. They drop the balls at times. I've been a victim of that too. In such occasions, and in all occasions, we are sorry. We are very sorry. It's not something pleasant. We are very sorry for those times we've disappointed you. But we will continue to improve. We will continue to serve you well. But one thing we promise you is that whenever we take off, by the special grace of God Almighty, you will land in one piece. That is what matters. So I will thank all of you, the Nigerian flying public. I'll thank some of those of you who have actually brought out themselves to be fighting a cause for this airline, like Adeto. Larry, I didn't ask you to stand up. So thank you very much. I'm sure all of you know this face, the activist herself. Thank you for standing behind the Nigerian brand. It's not just Air Peace. If you pull down this house, it's going to affect a lot of families. That is what we're all after. It's not about me. Air Peace was actually set up to provide job opportunities, to help my country, give opportunities to the teeming mass of unemployed people in our midst. That's the only way we can eradicate insecurity in this country, by giving jobs to all. Once again, I want to thank you, but I don't want to end it without saying thank you to my beautiful wife for I have to thank you for giving me that peace to do things the way I want to do them. I want to thank you for allowing me to sleep in the office if I want to. I want to thank you for everything. And of course, I want to thank the board of directors of Air Peace. We have very prominent Nigerians in the board of Air Peace. I'm very proud to say that we have a former MD of Shell, the respectable Mr. Mutiu Smono, as a member of our board. We have another MD of one of the Shell subsidiaries, Mrs. Eka Sumono, as a member of the board. We have Chief Emeka Ngige, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as a member of our board. We also have a former DG of Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Engineer Ben Adeleka, as a member of our board. In fact, without Engineer Ben Adeleka, maybe there will not be any Air Peace in Nigeria. Maybe the Air Peace will be flying for another country. Because when they refused to give us AOC after 2 years of demonstrating that we are capable, and I decided that we close shop, it was this man that came to the rescue. So why wouldn't I believe in Nigeria? People told me then that I was not being given AOC because I'm Igbo. But it was a Yoruba man that gave me that AOC. And he's still standing by me today. So please, let's jettison all these ethnic talks in this country. Let's forget religions. Let religion be something that can bind us and not distract us. Let us forget ethnicity. We are human beings from one God. And of course, I will not forget to thank the management and staff of Air Peace. Without you, there will not be any Air Peace. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our pilots, our engineers. I'm very grateful to God for having all of you. Florence Opia, you were there in the beginning. I remember you were there. Florence was working for Arik when she joined Air Peace, when I didn't know anything about aviation, and she was working from the airport to the office to everywhere, teaching us with Engineer Bolahon the two things I know today. I'm very grateful to you. That beginning, you are awesome, very, very awesome. Thank you. Thank you for all you've done. And of course, Mrs. Sejiro Egaga, our Chief Finance Officer. At a time we needed leadership in that department, you came and that helped us to date. I have a very good team working. And of course, I will not forget the upcoming ones like Onyema, who has been very awesome on the international scene for us. However, I want to say this with every seriousness in me. Don't look down on anybody, and don't even look down on yourself. Don't even discriminate. Maybe tribe, ethnicity, religion, or gender, or even age. I want to especially thank Mrs. Toyin Olajide. A lot of us may not know what goes behind. Yes, I may shout, I may quarrel, but Toyin has given it all. Her technical sagacity has no match. I don't think Toyin has left the office before 12:30 a.m. any day. That is true. She's very dedicated. She's strong, even in sickness. She's very strong. So Toyin Olajide, I thank you so much. And this is what I keep on saying to everybody in this country. This is a very beautiful country. If only we can jettison certain idiosyncrasies, the country will be better. When myself and my wife appointed, she came as a safety officer, actually, not as what she is today. It was in a management meeting that she was pointing out what some directors were doing wrongly. And myself and my wife said, if anybody comes to you again, collect the paper, then call that young girl to look at it and advise. Because we had saved about 40 million in 1 week. And that was as far back as 2014. 2013, when we were about getting our AOC. So one night, Madam said, why must you be hiding in your own business again? Tell everybody to be going through that girl. I said, no, you can't do that. You will breach corporate hierarchy. How could you tell directors to go to a safety officer? Directors, ordinary safety officer. It can't happen. You won't do that. Instead, you could make her MD. And she said, if you make her MD, then what will you be? I said, MD is the one that manages the business. I'll remain the chairman, you remain the vice chairman. He said, in that case, make her MD. So we called Bumi Akaun, who was our human resources manager, and said, appoint Toyin Olajide, acting managing director. Then, that was what we called it, before we changed the nomenclature to COO. And that was how she woke up at night, saw her text message or email that she has been so appointed. The rest is history. We trusted her and she performed. She's not Igbo like me. She's Yoruba. But she's performing. Air Peace is not an Igbo company. Air Peace is a Nigerian firm. Thank you very much and God bless you all.